Okay, I think that is in paragraph 259. So during my investigation, I received evidence that showed, among other things, that there were monies transferred to the Cyril Ramaphosa Foundation, that Mr. Watson was present at the fundraising dinner hosted by Mr. Ramaphosa, and that on the 17th of November 2017, Ms. Donay Lay Nicole, the president's legal advisor, sent an email to the president regarding fundraising and events. So this is the email which Donay sent to Mr. Ramaphosa. Hi, please find questions, notes around fundraising events. I've tasked PG to raise about 15 million. He has gone Johnny Coplin on board and is meeting a few other people. He's suggesting an event with 15 to 20 people on the 24th after the NEC. Is this possible? I think we should still schedule the following: cocktail with black business, maybe 30, including more sake and other, sake others. Cocktail with the Greeks suggested by Theo. You said yes. You have said yes, just trying to prioritize and get into your diary. People I need you to call, please, Mick Davis to coordinate.
Sorry, can you pause there?
Yeah.
Just go back a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Before we get to the next section, which of the email, I just want to put a few questions to you. One, just for context, so that everyone knows what we're talking about. This, who wrote this email?
It was Miss Nicole.
And who was it addressed to?
It was addressed to President Ramaphosa.
Right. Okay. So when it says, for example, you have said yes, the you, it would be Mr. Ramaphosa.
Yes, it was.
And where she says, I think we should do this, then that's her making whatever suggestion. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted that for context. Then it says, this next sentence is important in relation to the next sentence. People I need you to call, in other words, people that Ms. Nicole wants Mr. or the President Ramaphosa to call, and then, okay, you can carry on.
Yes, they are this Mick Davis to coordinate a group from London, including Martin Moshal, ask for a collective of 20 million. Eric Sampson to thank him for the money and ask for another 10 million. Can I ask the following for money? Tony.
Joseph Boyce, Public Prosecutor, Advocate Bauer.
We had been very careful about not showing people's names and phone numbers up to now, and there seem to be phone numbers on the.
Okay, no, fine. I think we can block the phone number, but the names are there. They're there.
And there's an account number that comes up in the.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Okay, we'll watch that, Chair. Okay, just move, you know what, move the thing to Eric Sampson. In other words, the number one that don't show on the screen. Yes, they started number 2. Okay, carry on.
Eric Sampson to thank him for money and ask for another 10 million. Can I ask the following for money? Tony.
Georgiadis, I think.
Yes, Georgiadis, Kojo Mills, David Ngobeni, Paul Icon. Request for meetings, Paul Icon, Steve Ratau, Paul Guna, Mane Dipicho. Right. So this was the evidence which we collated during the investigation.
Yeah. All right. Now, okay, let's stop there. Because when we deal with what I call the base documents, this becomes a central theme. And Chair, again, for the sake of progress, well, we want, but we also can't show all the emails and all that. I think the role of the emails, if we show one or two, what we're really after is what role did the emails play rather than the contents per se. But so that's the first reason. The second reason is that even if we had all the emails, we can't show them because they are sealed somewhere in Gauteng. So these ones we can show because they come from the pleadings, not from the sealed documents. Yeah. Okay, fine. All right. Can we then go back to paragraph 258 so that we deal with what I'm going to call the base documents, which we are going to use in your testimony. 258.
Maybe SC, before 258, or I thought you were still following up.
Okay.
So I think this also was showing that during the investigation and the fact that the interviewing of, we're still going to deal with those. We did interview Nicole Udone. We interviewed Mutlatsi. We interviewed Chauke. We interviewed the president and
Mr. Fenter.
Mr. Fenter, yes, but I just want to deal with the issue of the involvement of the president in the process, because those were some of the issues which, when we go through, you'll see why we are saying he was aware, because they were saying, no, we only invited him to the cocktails. Actually, even in the letter responding to the speaker, or in fact, responding to us, was saying, no, I was not involved. I didn't know anything.
No, we'll get to that.
Yes, that is what we've captured in the pleadings. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. No, we'll get to that and we'll analyze what, as I said, really what we're after is your reasoning.
Why,
and yes, and why you came to certain conclusions, whether it was for all the nefarious reasons that are alleged in the charge or that it was not. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted us to just, before we do that, because that information emanates from what I call the base documents, for lack of a better word. So can we first tell the committee what those base documents are at 258?
So it has already been established, and I hereby confirm that the key documents which will be used in my evidence to rebut the allegations into the charges which emanate from this Busasa report are the CR17 Busasa investigation report, the pleadings in the Constitutional Court appeal, especially my founding affidavit, the Constitutional Court judgment, especially the minority judgment of Chief Justice Mogoeng, various newspaper reports which detailed information regarding donors and recipients of CR funds. And I think this is because the information which we also had in our possession. The recordings of interviews with some of the key players, and the recent SABC interview making reference to foreign funding to influence the 2017 ANC conference outcome in favor of President Ramaphosa.
Right. Okay. Now, with the exception of the last item, because we've already said that anything that happened post the report is really merely for context. Those other 5 source documents are before the committee, and I'm not sure if Temgosi finally managed to open the recordings. I know there was some technical problem, but anyway, putting technical problems aside, all those documents are before the committee.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead, Honorable.
Thank you,
Chair.
And the recording won't show that part.
Okay, yes, correct.
Thank you. No, sorry, I was signaling to Temgus. All right. Thank you. Okay, now let's then come to the evidence you are leading. Whether you are dealing with the High Court judgment or the Concord judgment, for the purposes of what I'm going to ask you, it doesn't really matter because both of them made the same finding. Concord confirmed the High Court, correct?
That's correct.
Right. Now, without getting into the detail of the specific emails, it seems that the president's version and that of his CR17 managers was that the president basically did not know about the activities of the CR17 campaign. He was intentionally insulated, what in business we call Chinese walls. A Chinese wall had been built between him and the CR17 so that he didn't know what's happening on the other side of the wall. Can you just paraphrase maybe in your own words what the version was from your interviews with the people that you have just mentioned?
Yes, the interviews which were conducted, as I said earlier, we interviewed Donne, Mutlatsi, Chauke, and they were saying that they were the campaign team, because that's what, when we wrote to the president, we met with the president. Indeed, he confirmed that he didn't know anything about that. He was told, we will be running this process for you, but then you are not going to, in fact, we are not going to tell you anything, but then we will invite you, or he was invited, or people were invited to attend dinners and events for the fund or the fundraising events. So that's that's the information which we were given when we interviewed those collectives.
Right.
So it's there in the report, and I know you might take us there as well, or members of the committee.
Okay. Now, all right. No, we can go there. All right. Now, this, if you can still remember, how many times did you have to interview the president?
We met twice. The first one was when the letter of we normally call it, in fact, the first letter where we informed him about the investigation. We also requested all the evidence which he is having about this matter. So after the letter was drafted, it was then delivered to the president to make sure that the process is, or the investigation is conducted in such a way that there is no leakage or compromising the investigation.
All right. Okay, I think the part you wanted to refer the committee to in the report, you'll be found at 5.1.10.9.7. Sorry.
Yes, it's the main paragraph is 5.3.10
yes.
of the report.
Yes. Can we start at? It's bundle E, item 10. Number 1. That's the Busasa report.
Whilst she's looking, because in the report, the first meeting was on the 29th of January, 2019.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. The first meeting with the president was?
29 January 2019. It's in paragraph 5.3.4 of the report, where it says issues in dispute. Yes, paragraph 64.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I wanted us to start at 5.1.10.9.7 so that we don't lose the point you made earlier about what I call, quote unquote, the Chinese wall.
Mm.
Can you read that into the record?
Okay, so it's 5.1.
10.9.7.
I know we 0.1.10. Okay.
You also have it on the screen in
That's
case.
with according to.
Chairperson, I must look for my second eyes.
Okay.
Yes, that's
All
why I
right.
prefer to read
Oh,
here.
it's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll wait for you.
Okay. Okay, it says, according to President Ramaphosa, a deliberate decision had been taken by himself and by those leading the campaign that he would not be involved in fundraising, even as he would address meetings and have a few dinners with potential funders. These meetings and dinners with potential funders were used as occasions where he would have outlined his vision for the ANC and the country.
Yes. Okay. Now, this, you would agree, this is what is at the core of the CR17 issue, correct?
That's correct.
Yes. Let's put aside now the issue of misleading Parliament and what have you. But as far as the CR17 issue, this was what I call the version, which was the president's version and that of the CR17 managers. I think that's what they're called.
Correct.
Right. Okay. And so that's what we're going to be interrogating. And we need to, again, keeping the eye on the ball, that we are following your logic as the public protector rather than anything else. Now, this version, in your finding, were you able to accept this version or this defense, quote unquote, of there was this lack of transparency, or did you reject it? If you did, then we'll go to the specifics.
This version was unacceptable because I've shown, or the emails I've read earlier, because there would be a lot of other information which proved that the president was involved or he was aware about those donors and funders.
All right.
And to stress again that by then he was the deputy president. And that's what we were investigating and what Executive Members Ethics Act says about members of cabinet and as well members of parliament. Yes. About declaring any donations.
Right. Okay.